Guest in the West. Hold on. I'm gonna move Instagram closer because it can be. Hey Jonathan, do you guys have like a Now Media like little cell phone holder? I know they used to have one of those up there.
Yeah, sort of.
There. That'd be perfect. Thank you. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right, just deleted the Instagram video. I want to set that up on Facebook. Here we go. Facebook and you. I saw that we were a little bit too high last time. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. What's up? Here we go. Here we are at the Now Media Studio. Jonathan reminded me, one fist away here, speaking. Look at the mini camera. There you go.
Exactly.
All right, I am ready.
All right, you ready?
Whenever you are, Jonathan.
I'm ready as well.
Let's do it.
Do it. All right, so start with your radio intro, come up straight to you, and then rock and roll.
Let's do it.
Cool. I'll give you a countdown with my fingers from 5, 4, 3, and then radio intro will start.
Okay.
You'll start.
That sounds great.
Cool. Is this muted?
Oh, yes.
Now it is.
There you go.
There we go. Always forget that one.
About to do the episode, but we're doing great. Now Media Studio, that's where we're at right now. A little bit of heads up there. And make sure the mic is closed but not blocking the view. Speaking loud. Hey Doc, how you doing? Doing that episode. We're about to start it off where I interview some business owners in Houston. So, you guys there he is. 3, 2, now we're going live. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Guest in the West. Excited here. This is our second episode. Going to be introducing Jordan from Seek Media and also Dick. He's going to be talking a little bit about the Economic Development Summit coming up in January. So we're excited for all of you that have tuned in, have listened, have given comments. I have quite a number of guests that have requested to be on the show. We're going to be running this as a reminder every Wednesday, 8 to 9. This is a joint venture between the company that I represent, Sherman with Mutual of Omaha, and then we have, of course, Now Media providing the studio, the distribution. I want to thank Jonathan, of course, who's running it behind the glass here and producing this and getting it out and making sure that it looks sharp and crisp. The other company, an organization that we want to recognize is the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, who is inviting a lot of their members to be able to participate and be able to share their story. So I know a lot of people in 2019 want to be able to have their story be told, and they don't know if they have enough content to do a podcast themselves or to have their own vlog. Well, here's a way that if you're a member of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, you can come here, we can interview you, and we can help share your story. So it's pretty simple. You can connect with Devin at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, and she can be able to help you get connected. So that would be events at houstonwestcoc.org. All right, so one of the things I wanted to talk about at the very top of the morning is why Houston is an amazing city to live, play, and work. And so last time we talked a little bit about the demographics, how large the city is, and how that's going to be able to drive a lot of the economics going forward. But I want to talk about, more importantly, if you're going to come here and you need to get educated and you need to have family. And so I brought in some statistics today here in this little packet here. So one of the unique things is that there's over 430,000 students in Houston at over 40 of our colleges. Now that's included in community colleges and traditional four-year universities. That, by the way, is up than what it was the previous year. The amazing thing about it is when you look at some of the 2-year colleges, they're providing a lot of skilled trades, certificates, working at being more nimble. The University of Houston actually just launched their medical school. So that'll be the 3rd medical school, the first one being University of Texas, the second one being Baylor in our community. And the focus, though, of University of Houston is to solve the lack of physicians that we have, particularly in family practice, or also known as general practice, GP, and being able to make sure that they stay in the urban communities serving the underserviced population. We are, when it comes to the uninsured in Houston, we have a larger percentage of the population that's uninsured just due to those kind of facts. So if you want to get educated, great place to come, great place to be. There's more than enough schools to be able to get you educated at. At the same time, for most people, the beauty of going to school is to then go on and get employed, and the vibrant economy here in Houston allows you to do that. So let's then shift. If let's say you're have a family and you have young children, there is a lot of not only education from a high school perspective, but some of these high school campuses would almost rival that of community colleges. They are that vast. I know up in some of the areas of Cypress Fairbanks School District, those high schools boast well over 3,000 high school students. That's age 14 to 18, grades 9 to 12. One of the unique things, by the way, if you're not familiar with Texas, is that if you're in the top 10%, that allows you to get enrolled into and accepted into the state universities. So if you are a high caliber high school student and you want to be able to stay in Texas, we'd love to have you. More importantly, we'd love to have you here in Houston. So for those of you that are finding your secondary education not up to par, feel free to come down here to Houston. We'll get you educated and we'll get you to the beyond. The next thing that when it comes to being able to get educated in Houston, there's some different things that are happening right now in our communities. I know, number one, Rice University recently announced this year they're going to be helping those students that get accepted that are of lower income. Now, for them, they actually launched that out for them. It came down to household incomes under $140,000. So you can get quite the assistance grants through Rice University. The second thing is that Rice University is working with local business to be able to create an innovation center. There's a lot of business that's going more mobile. It's not necessarily having to be done by large organizations. And so you want to be able to make sure that Houston is at the forefront of a lot of that innovation. The other thing that I would say that's an extreme positive is that with Houston being so large, it is the 15th largest economy in the world. That's right, the world, right? So you take one city, it outproduces some countries. And so with that vibrant economy, your education can then shift over through internships, through apprenticeships. And I would say that, I mean education from a secondary perspective. There's quite a need in our trades, from HVAC to CDL drivers to those that want to be in hospitality, running different businesses in the service market. That doesn't necessarily require a 4-year traditional university education or even a master's degree or PhD. And so I'd encourage anybody, as you're looking at education, if it's post-high school, post-secondary, then identify what's going to be best for you. A lot of times when it comes to the hustle and bustle, if you have the guts, you can be able to make it happen of your own hard work. Now you might have to go through the world of hard knocks and understand that failure is a part of the path to success, but I'd say it's totally worth it. So when it comes to education, don't always think about the traditional brick and mortars that we exist in today's world. Obviously, there's an online community. The other one is look at the communities in which you exist in. There's huge opportunities. I know I connected with someone here, Madeline Sklar, when I needed to get some assistance on Twitter a few years ago, and I connected with her online. And actually, when I came down here to Houston several months later, I connected with her and a bunch of her I guess I'd call them peers, cronies, homies, if you will, people that she was connected with that were also in the social media space that gave a lot of different tactics and strategies. And so they were just an amazing resource and wealth of knowledge, and they would meet on a regular basis. I know that there's a podcast community, there's a multitude of different chambers and rotaries and other organizations to help you thrive and succeed in this community. And so when I see education, yes, there's high schools, there's great universities, there's great community colleges, there's great places to get certificates and apprenticeships. There's also a very open arms to be able to help businesses grow. The hashtag Houston Strong wasn't just about Hurricane Harvey. When I moved down here a little over a year ago, I found the community to be very open to being able to not only work with me, but associate with me, to be able to help me grow, to support me. And you'll find that to be the case with almost anybody. So where does that come from? Culturally, the unique thing is that about a quarter of the population of Houston is actually not born in Texas. They actually say that about 1.6 million of Houstonians, which is about 1 out of 4, were born outside of the United States. And so with that attitude of, hey, I'm coming to a new place, a new country, I need assistance, guess what? There's a multitude of people that have come from the exact same scenario, whether that's coming from a multinational company working for here, or that's immigrating here to have education, or I know that we import quite a bit on the healthcare side to be able to help serve our very growing community. And that attitude of coming to a new place and needing assistance, needing help, it literally permeates the culture of Houston. It is, just so you are aware, the most diverse city in the United States. Now, I will say, with all these positives, are there things that we need to work on? Absolutely. I don't want to ever give the connotation that there is just perfection in Houston. I think every major city, especially of this size, has its struggles with homelessness, with poverty, with mental health, with violence, with being able to have a more abundant mentality. And so with that, I would say that a lot of people, they struggle with this idea of being able to know what they need to do when it comes to their life. There's no perfect place out there. That's the reality, is that if you're looking for perfection, it's not out there. But if you're looking for really close to it, Houston's the place. So I wanted to finish off this segment just talking about some of the great things that are happening. Number one is, if you're catching this on the podcast, you of course can watch this show, whether you're watching it on my Facebook or my Instagram, which is my own stuff, but also Now Media has taken control of a lot of the distribution for us. So if you go on to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, they're broadcasting it there. At the same time, they'll send a link that you can then go and watch this about 24 hours afterwards. It's nowmediaradio.com, and that's running on a 24/7 loop. So we're appreciative very much of Now Media's presence to us. The Houston West Chamber of Commerce is one of those great organizations that's here. It's in business to help business. And so with that, they have different events coming up here, the end part of November still. Let's see, November 20th happening today. We have from 10:30 to 1 over at Action Coach, the workshop. And then tomorrow on the 21st, there is the Government Affairs Lunch happening from 11:30 to 1. And then finally on the 21st, Networking After Hours in the West Chase District over at Churrasco's from 4:30 to 6:30. And I'm going to finish this story off with a little Aesop's Fables before we have Jordan come on. Aesop's Fables here, if you're familiar with these, are all trying to teach a moral, teach a lesson. And so this one is about the thirsty pigeon. So what happened is this pigeon is flying after a hard day, getting really thirsty, sees on the horizon this beautiful pond, and just flies right for it. Bam! Smashes right into it, realizes it's a billboard. Now, again, Aesop's Fables didn't call it a billboard, but back then, that's what we related to today. And so the moral of the story is, don't allow your enthusiasm to get ahead of your cautiousness. So how does that translate then to the business community, to your personal life? There's some things that you might get really excited about, and it's okay to take a little bit of time, I'd say a day or two, to figure out what you want to be doing. Don't get too caught up with the details, so that way you don't move forward, but at the same time, make sure that you have a little bit of caution when moving forward. Again, appreciate our sponsors. We're going to first hear a word from one of our sponsors right now. Again, everybody, appreciate your attention here on Guest in the West. Let's first hear a word from our sponsor.
That's me.
Whoa. He's just doing a commercial. You want to come in? Is Jordan here?
Yeah, Jordan's here.
Awesome.
The company's here.
Is it already here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, exactly.
No one brings business cards. I gotta put that in the email.
Yeah. Yeah, you did, who's first?
Jordan?
Yeah, you did Jordan, but.
Jordan, how's it going?
What's going on?
Sherman,
How you doing?
pleasure to meet you. I'm sure we met before at some
we've
event,
been
right?
there Once or twice. Sweet. This is live here.
Yeah, so feel free to have a seat.
Oh, that's his
What's
personal
up? Yeah,
phone
this
right
is just
there.
Sherm. What's up, everybody? All right, so the rule of thumb is to speak a fist away from the mic, and this is your camera right here, so feel free to talk into that.
So when I talk, I can look right into this camera, or I can just
Yep.
look at you most of the time?
Yeah, either or. You don't have to. You can look at me. I'll look back.
Sure. So,
All right, 20 seconds.
All right. And so real quickly, it'll be like, I want you to introduce yourself to an audience. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you excited about? And then
10 seconds.
why you a member of the chamber.
tell me when, because I've already forgotten all those questions.
No worries, no worries. I'll prompt you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we're welcome back. Again, thank you for our sponsors. We're super excited today to have Jordan from Seek Media here to share with us the story, his story, and also that of Seek Media. So I'm going to turn it over to Jordan for people that maybe aren't familiar with your organization or even yourself. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. So my name is Jordan Zale. I'm the owner of Seek Media. Our website is seekmedia.film. Currently what we're specializing in is real estate videos, real estate photography. We're kind of catering our business more towards the real estate industry. We do have a secondary company. We also do wedding films as well. We won't go too much into that one today, but we will talk about Seek Media, which is mostly commercial real estate, commercial businesses, completely anything that basically any companies or small businesses need videos for, we can pretty much build something that's custom for them. So.
That's amazing. So what got you into basically video production?
So in the early days, and we're talking early days, probably around the time that I was in high school, even before then, even middle school, even before that too, just started doing, was really interested. I always watched like skateboarding videos, rollerblading videos, ski videos, surf videos. I was real into that, and you know, I got real into the idea of like filming everybody and filming and making really cool edits and putting music to the background of all the stuff that we did. And then from there, you know, obviously at some point in time, you kind of grow out of that and you realize, you know what, you got to move forward and make more of a career out of this stuff. So around in 2011, that's actually when I started doing wedding videos. Now we call them wedding films, and we create stuff that's a little more unique now than what we were then. But we started doing wedding videos, and of course, with that kind of came other stuff that we could pretty much create. So that was pretty much anything. A real easy thing to get into was real estate.
Yeah.
So probably around the same time, we're also doing real estate videos. We're also doing real estate photography as well. Back then, it was probably more photo than it was video.
Yeah.
I think video still hasn't fully caught on in the real estate industry, but it is kind of chugging along now. But so went to school, went to U of H, graduated from with a digital media degree in 2016, and from that point on, that's kind of when I started taking more of the business side of things way more serious. But I also had a lot more time to do it.
Right.
So once that kind of changed, we started doing a lot more wedding videos, started taking on a lot more stuff with that, and then real estate just kind of, we needed weekly work, so that's what we started doing during the week. And in 2019, starting this year, we actually launched Seek Media, which basically caters more towards the commercial area of business, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything that's not weddings is what Seek Media has to cover. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what-
and then that's amazing to see that you're really, in a sense, pioneering this movement towards video, right? Versus the still shots of how, you go onto almost any real estate website. And that's really the struggle, is that if I'm just looking at basically a two-dimensional picture of a room when it's really a three-dimensional space.
Right. Right.
So then when it comes to some of the unique things that you guys are doing, what's got you excited about what you're doing over there at Seek Media?
So for us, we want to focus on creating quality content. We don't want to be quick. We don't want to just go in and be in and out in an hour and the agent's happy. Or the agent's not happy, for instance. We want to go in and we want to take our time. We want to really look through. We want to take someone's script if they have one. We really want to make sure that we're doing multiple takes with anybody that is in front of a camera, because we don't want there to be any mistake in anybody.
Mm-hmm.
There are times when there's a mistake. Maybe someone missed an and or they missed a v, but we're able to pull that from another take, because we can always cut in. So if we have 3 takes and 2 of them are not so good, but there are parts of each take that we can splice in. We also shoot with multiple cameras, so I mean, we don't want to look at it as being something that's fast. I mean, our process might be a little slower, but I think the end result is going to be way better in the long run. And that's kind of what we're excited about, is to bring real quality and real film to the industry of real estate, as opposed to just going in and filming a house and being done with it.
Yeah.
We want to make sure, we want to try and put agents on camera. We want to try and give people that exposure. And aside from just being able to use the footage to sell a house, it's now footage that they can use for their own personal brand.
Yeah.
Which brings us into another area, which a lot of agents right now are looking for personal brand videos. And they can be something that's very simple, literally just reading from a teleprompter telling people who they are. Or it can be something really extreme, really extravagant, going to multiple locations, taking a few days to actually film, and covering an area that they're just experts in. So all of those things, it's fun for us to do those things. It's obviously exciting for them too. It's new to some people, and some people are just looking for an extra leg up, so they use a company like us that wants to focus on quality, wants to focus on creating something really unique. So that's kind of where we're at.
So you're really taking that traditional approach of just creating a piece of content and saying, let's make more of a production.
Yes.
Let's make more of a like you said with your wedding. You're making more of a film, not just, hey, here's basically the video version of what happened that day.
Right. Yeah, we're trying to make something that's a lot more unique, something that's going to actually grab people's attention. And we're not doing it just for the agents. We're doing it for the people that they can actually be selling for.
Mm-hmm.
So we want our agents to actually have the tools, basically. So, for instance, if you're trying to sell your home and you're looking at an agent that only does photos versus an agent that's literally hitting the market hard with social media, literally every day is doing something different with video, or their videos of the houses that they're selling are just spot on,
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to want to choose that agent over someone who's just doing the bare minimum basics.
Absolutely. I think you bring up a really good point. It is 2020, and so we need to be embracing a lot of this technology that's in front of us. Where do you see a lot of the realtors or clients posting a lot of these video contents that you've created for them?
So that's a good question, and it can kind of bounce back and forth, and it kind of depends on the market. And I'm no market expert or anything really, and to be honest with you, I'm not even a social media expert. But I think if everyone's following maybe like a Facebook platform or even YouTube platform, I think YouTube is more of your long-term solution, and Facebook is your like immediate solution. Those are the two places for me personally that I post my content. But obviously there's the other apps like Instagram, and again those are probably, I guess, Snapchat.
Yep.
That's actually one that I don't use.
Yeah.
And I guess there's the new one now, which is I guess TikTok.
Yes.
Something about that. I don't,
Yes.
Again, I don't even use Snapchat, so I'm not even gonna get on TikTok. But anyway, so yeah, I think for sure Facebook is definitely a unique place. And let's just say you want to drive traffic to that one particular video. Facebook's probably going to be the #1 spot, but
Mhm.
if you wanted to post a Facebook post anywhere else and people don't have Facebook,
Mhm.
there's an issue there.
Right.
Because then those people are going to have to sign in. They may not even be able to see the video. And if you have an older clientele or someone who's just not active or wants to be off the grid, they're not going to see that content.
Mhm.
There's obviously HAR too. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. That
You want to describe HAR for the people that aren't familiar with that?
I guess it's Houston Association of Realtors.
Yeah.
If I say that right. It's just basically that's the platform where all of the content that goes on. So all the homes that are for sale, pretty much everything that's on the grid, pretty much everywhere is on in this Houston area is on that website. So if
Yeah.
you're looking for a home for sale, that's probably going to be your #1 place. If you're familiar with Zillow, the kind of a similar area there, but I think HAR is more has the market here.
Yeah.
But I forget what I was saying here. Going back to the general market. If you post on YouTube and then you are able to share that link, or even post that or build that into your HAR website,
Mhm.
I think more people are going to be able to see that as opposed to Facebook.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a really good point to bring up, is that when it comes to not only posting, you want to have quantity and quality. I think it's going to be very telling when you have a finished product to the caliber that you're talking about, right? Where there's multiple cameras, there might be some transitions, there's some music in the background.
Absolutely.
It's really going to be able to share that story. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And then final question is, why did you decide to join Seek Media, the Houston West Chamber of Commerce?
So we wanted to look at this and just kind of expand and get our name out there and meet new people in the industry, maybe anyone that has insight for us, and maybe we can share something with them. Ultimately, though, yeah, it is the exposure, it's the ability to be able to meet everybody that you may be looking for.
Mhm.
Even if there are people out there that maybe both of our businesses don't really intertwine or probably never will, at least you're there to be able to make that communication, and we're able to do stuff for them, possibly outside of what the real one-on-one business. We're able to share their information with people who may need their services, and then vice versa. So it's just a relationship building, networking, and just getting our name out there for exposure. And this is obviously great. We're here now. We're here today doing this. I've never been on a podcast
Yeah.
before.
Well, welcome.
Usually I'm on the other side of this camera over here.
That's right, that's right.
So, it's a little different.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Is there anything else that you want to tell the audience just about Seek Media and about kind of what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I guess just to close it, we want to make sure that people know that we're trying to focus on quality. We may not be doing as much volume as some of the other companies out there that are maybe on the cheaper end, but we want to focus on making sure that we're creating something that's great, something that's almost incredible. So that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, high end, high quality. It sounds like it's extremely unique for the individuals you're working with. So even if you had two realtors, you're sharing a very different story based on what they're telling you. Right. Even though we're showing houses, it sounds like you want to try to get that realtor in front of the house and really start branding themselves with their content.
We definitely want to make sure we're also focusing on branding, and I think that's a big thing, especially with I think, like I said earlier, people are trying to move towards personal branding and stuff, and they want to share that information. And video is kind of one of those platforms where instead of writing and reading something about somebody, you can actually visually see what they're saying, and see what they're doing, see what they're saying, hear what they're saying. So that's important.
Well, they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. How many millions of words does a video speak, right? It doesn't matter how long it is. Well, again, Jordan, really appreciate you taking time to come and visit with us. Feel free, everybody. You saw his contact information below, but for those that are listening on the podcast, Jordan, why don't you spell out your email or your phone number and people can get in touch with you?
Yeah, so the best way actually to get in contact with me is either by phone, which is 281-844-2110. Or you can actually visit our website. That's seekmedia.film. That's SEEKmedia.film. And we have contact information on there, and we also have some of our videos and some of our work. So if you're interested to see what we're doing, it's all there. So
wonderful. Please check out his website. Appreciate you coming in on the show. We're going to first take our second break here of the episode and hear a word from our sponsor. Thanks, man. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Now I totally remember we did meet at like
Oh, dude, yeah,
season
that's what
52,
I
right?
wanted to show this to you. Look.
Dude, that's awesome. Let me get a photo of that. 'Cause that's freaking
I
awesome.
won the things that y'all were doing.
Here, I'll get it with this one. Dude, that is so awesome.
Good job.
That was awesome. And you're a friend of Karina's, right? Is that?
Yeah,
Is
Karina,
it she?
Devin.
And Devin, you guys are both friends. So just hold up here real quick, just like that. That's
Oh, my
awesome.
goodness.
All right, man. That is stellar.
Got it?
Yeah, I did.
Cool, man.
Didn't
Thanks.
you get that at the golf?
Yeah, I think I won this from that golf
Oh
place.
my god.
But
Dick, are you ready?
look,
Hey, Sherman,
it's
how are
me.
you?
I'm in the back of this thing every day. So.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Are you ready for this?
I think so. We'll see.
So are you talking about your company or are you talking more about
I'm
the...
talking about the
West Houston Outlook.
West Houston Outlook.
Okay, awesome. So just sit down there. Your camera's right here, so don't feel like you have to talk to me. You can talk right here to the camera.
Alright.
And you want to speak about a fist away from the mic?
Okay.
30 seconds.
Is that good?
That's
You want to
good.
pull it in closer? Okay. And so I'll kind of prompt you with some questions, and then you just tell me what's going on with, you know, maybe a little bit of the history of the development. And I know because it's changed, right?
15
From
seconds.
Weds, right?
Right. It was West Houston Economic Development Summit, and prior to that, it was
5 seconds.
okay. Never mind.
You'll tell me here.
Star Wars.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Really pleasure to meet with Dick and have him come on and talk about one of the main events that the Houston West Chamber of Commerce puts on an annual basis. And I know you have your hand right in the mix of everything. So why don't you just tell maybe a little bit of the background about the Economic Development Summit? I know the name's changed, but just share with folks maybe kind of a little bit of the history on that.
Sure. Thanks, Sherman, for having me on this morning. We're excited to be here and to talk about probably one of the most premier events that the Houston Chamber puts on every year, and that's the West Houston Outlook 2020 event. And it has evolved from what used to be the West Houston Economic Development Summit.
Mhm.
We thought this name was better suited for what we actually do as this event has evolved. We've been doing this now for about 6 or 7 years. It started as the Star Awards, where we recognize exemplary businesses, but as that kind of ran its course, we decided there was an opportunity to do something that helped West Houston business owners get their arms around what was going to happen in the economy for the coming year, both in West Houston and the greater Houston area as well, because that's important. Most people in this area operate not only in West Houston, but other areas as well. And so we began to invite economists to come and talk to the luncheon group about their view of the economic situation and the outlook for the coming year. And for the first time, we were able to get these economists to kind of focus on what was going to happen in West Houston, not just the greater Houston area. There are a lot of events that actually that have come online that do that. We started with just the economic presentation, and then to make that come alive for the business owners and executives in West Houston, we decided to focus also on some of the key business segments that really comprise the primary West Houston market, and that's healthcare, commercial real estate, private real estate. The retail sector is very big, and did I say healthcare already?
Mhm.
Okay, healthcare and business services, banking, insurance, those kinds of businesses. And so we added to the economic presentation a panel discussion with business executives that represent each one of those business sectors to talk a little bit about what they see in their businesses for the coming year. And so that really takes the economic data and really makes it come alive. So
Yeah.
if you're sitting in that room and one of your key customers is one of the major hospitals in the West Houston area, it's very important for you to understand what they're facing in the coming year so that you can adapt your products and services to what they need and what they see.
Yeah.
So.
That's amazing. So with what's happening this upcoming year with the Economic Outlook 2020, obviously we've reached the future, Dick. 2020 is finally here, right? I remember the envisions of 2020, we were going to be, you know, walking on the moon. You and I would probably be flying in the Jetsons. What had you guys excited about this upcoming 2020 event?
Well, just to kind of continue on how this event's evolved, because I think that really answers your question. The backdrop for this year's event is that we really see a slowing economic environment. Okay, nobody is using the R word yet, you know, but what we're seeing, you know, both nationally and in the Houston area is that, you know, businesses are going to start to face some headwinds as we move into 2020. And so what this event is really focused on is understanding what's going to happen there, but also giving business owners the tools that they need to deal with what might be a slowing economic environment. And so along with the luncheon presentation and the information that, you know, that we're going to provide there, we're also going to be offering 4 business forums in the morning that attendees can go to learn more about marketing, to learn more about cybersecurity, to learn more about the healthcare segment itself and what's evolving there, and to learn more about issues related to financing their businesses and, you know, better managing their cash flow, for instance, which is really important in a slowing economic environment. And then along with that, the event features a business marketplace where key sponsors will have booths and exhibits to actually interact with the 450 or so attendees that will be there. So yeah, that's another very important learning experience where you can walk into the business marketplace and interact one-on-one with the key suppliers in the West Houston area.
That's nice. I like the forum. Then was that kind of the topics created from this outlook first, that there was going to be sort of this slowdown, and so you wanted to be able to make sure that these forum individuals then spoke to the business owners about how to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. And that'll be some really good. Some of them will be, you know, hands-on kind of presentations. Others will be panel discussions that will feature a number of experts in each of those areas. So not only do you get the panel discussion at the luncheon, but also the business forums will bring in, you know, experts as well. We'll probably have, I'm going to say 20 or 25, you know, key experts from the Houston and West Houston area talking about, you know, all these individual topics.
What a great way to really mix a seminar up, right? So instead of just going and learning, I'm learning, but then I'm figuring out how to navigate with that information, right?
Exactly.
So there's no point in receiving information in today's world if you and I can't utilize it or synthesize it to betterment of our business or our overall companies.
Right, exactly. And if you are a major business in the West Houston area, this is an event that you'd really want to sponsor because it will attract a lot of individual business owners, middle management, and even senior management of the companies that operate in the West Houston area. So it's a real opportunity as a sponsor to be an effective way to get your message out to what would be a very, very important target audience.
Yeah, that's great.
And those sponsorships are available. Just
they
go
are.
to Houston,
Right.
hwcoc.org and click on West Houston Outlook.
Okay, so still looking for some sponsors to be able to be a part of this, to be able to get the exposure that's needed. I know that's a big part of what we'll be doing here is recognizing some of those sponsors going forward. So not only do your sponsorships get exposure obviously at the event and during the event and post and pre and all the variety of marketing materials, but then I know here at the Guests of the West we'll be talking about some of those sponsors and what they're doing, and so we're grateful for that.
Right.
If someone wants to get involved, are you still looking for volunteers in the committee perspective? I know you guys are basically a couple months away, so.
Yeah, not really for this event. I mean,
Okay.
we've got it pretty well buttoned down now, and as we get closer to the actual date, which is January 24th at the Norris Conference Center.
I think that's Carrie Warner's birthday of the Houston West Chamber.
You know, I've heard that as well. She's thrilled that we're going to celebrate with this gigantic event.
That's right, with 500 people.
In her name. You know? So how cool is that?
And we'll have a lookout for 2020 for her.
Right. So where was I going with
So
that?
people that maybe want to get involved.
Exactly.
No,
I mean,
participate.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much have the event planned.
Okay.
You know, right now we're kind of on the final glide path. However, you know, starting in February or March of next year, we'll start all over again, and that would be a great time for those that want to join the committee and get involved in putting on this great event to do so. And
so if someone wants to attend the event, how can they, do they just go to the website and register that way?
Yeah, exactly. If you go to the again, hwcoc.org and click on the logo for the event, you'll see a spot there where you can purchase individual tickets. We're obviously are selling tables if you want to bring guests, clients, customers. And then, of course, sponsorship opportunities are there as well.
And then that business forum where they can, or vendors, right? The vendor
Yep.
space
Yep.
as well.
Exactly.
Okay. Where is this going to be held at? Because obviously this brings in a few hundred people. I think last year it was about 450 or so.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, this event has attracted between 550 to 450 people every year. Last year, for the first time, we moved it to the Norris Conference Center.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's worked out real well because it gives us a little bit more compact space to host the business forums as well as the luncheon and the business marketplace as well.
So that's where it'll be this year as
Yes,
well.
yeah,
Okay,
yes.
great. So for those of you that want to check out more of that information, feel free. It's the Economic Outlook 2020, hosted by the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. You want to give sponsorship, and also, of course, if you want to attend, we'd love to see you there January 24th of 2020. If you can imagine, we're hitting the future. Is there anything else, Dick, that you'd want to be able to share with the audience about this upcoming event?
Well, I think that about covers it. Like I said, this is, you know, since we started this 6 or 7 years ago, there's a lot of other events that are similar. How shall I put this? That have kind of popped up,
Yeah.
you know, around as other organizations have seen that this is a good idea. But this is the premier event for businesses in West Houston, and you should definitely put it on your calendar.
And I think I know I attended last year and found it just a great place to be able to connect and be able to listen and learn. And I'm really looking forward to the opportunity of knowing how can I navigate a slowing economy. And so that those are some really good topics to be discussing.
Yep, exactly.
So again, thanks again for taking the time. I want to just close this out. Thank all of our guests that came on today. I want to thank Jordan, of course, Dick, in telling us about the Economic Outlook of 2020. The upcoming events today, everybody. We have the Business Growth Workshop put on by the Action Coach happening on a little bit later today, 10:30 to 1. And then I know that the Government Affairs Luncheon is happening tomorrow on Thursday, November 21st from 11:30 to 1. And then finally the Networking After Hours as well on Thursday, November 21st, before we really hit those Thanksgiving holidays. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We will have a full lineup next week here as we launch out the third episode of The Gas in the West. I want to thank our sponsors again, Now Media, for providing the studio and the distribution, and of course our talented producer, Jonathan here. And thanks again for the Houston West Chamber of Commerce in connecting. Thank you, Devin, for organizing this. Thank you, our guests, Jordan and Dick, in sharing their thoughts with how we can be better and live, play, and work in Houston. So this is Sherman with Mutual Omaha, and I'm out.
Good. Good
Thanks a
job,
lot, my friend.
Hey, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Let's get the word out.
Yeah.
So this was. Yeah, I didn't really understand this was live. I thought we'd have do-overs. But that's.
Well, I'm glad they didn't warn you.